Hey, what's going on, Gears fans? Dr. Schwaz here. In this video, I'm going to be discussing some of the skill cards for JD. This was a kind of a requested video from a subscriber. They were kind of interested in seeing what kind of card setups we have for each of the main characters. So be on the lookout for more videos like this in the future, pertaining to some of the key characters in Horde, such as like Dell, Jack, Baird, etc. Before again, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the following players for helping me obtain footage. That's going to be shown later in the tutorial, and those people are Manicon, Sethers Morris, Jaded Zombie, and Relaxing Cody. Thank you guys very much. Alright, so I'm going to start with a Confirmed Kill. This is a card you get at level 16. It's a JD's gold card, and probably one of the most supporting cards in the game next to Razor Hail. So this card basically, any kill with the artillery strike reduces your cooldown by a certain amount of time. But what's interesting about this card is it actually does more than it says it does. It reduces your artillery cooldown even with any explosive kills, whether that's boom, drop, torque, or frags. And also on bosses, any explosive damage dealt can also reduce this cooldown, where on high difficulties like Insane or Inconceivable or Master, you can get your ultimate ability back in about 10 or 15 seconds multiple times a boss wave with Confirmed Kill. Razor Hail, again, this is a card that JD unlocks at level 12, and if you're doing any difficulty above Insane where enemies regenerate their health, well, you definitely need Razor Hail for that. This basically, any explosive damage with your GL, BOOMSHOT, any explosive weapon causes bleeding for certain damage range, and once level 5 is 50%, so you definitely want to have that. Really good on bosses and large chunks of enemies like Scions, etc. The third card I'd like to run is Custom Lancer GL. So basically, this increases the base damage of the Lancer GL by 50%. This is when it's level 5, of course, and active reload damage by 25%. So this stacks. This does damage with the bullets, and it does damage with the Lancer GL rocket, and that can stack with the Razor Hail. So if you pre-active and use your Custom Lancer GL on a boss, it would do more damage than otherwise not having the card on. And this also works when you pre-active and use your ultimate ability, your artillery strike, which I'll have some video of showing that later in the video. The fourth card I'd like to run is Launcher Capacity. It says the ammo capacity for the boom, torque, and drop is increased by a certain amount. This is also true for frag grenades, where you can get up to 7, I believe. And for Lancer GL, which is what JD's primary weapon is, you can get up to 8, which is really nice. Once you get a locker, you can get 3 or 4 those salvo of those Lancer GLs. Those come up to 8 bullets each. It's pretty nice. The next card I'd like to run is Officer's Prerogative. This is a green card. You get it up in the early levels. Basically, when you do your artillery strike, it just drops more rockets. So more rockets, more splash damage, more bleeding. So certainly something you want. If you don't have Razor Hail, I'd like to. Spotter's Port's a good card to run. Basically, any time your teammate or an ally marks an enemy, your artillery can hit a certain amount of rockets at that location. This is good for large maps like Bunker, or maps where enemies kind of spawn far apart, like Exhibit, where if JD's not on the same side as the boss, teammate can mark it, and JD can use his ultimate. So that's kind of a cool card to have if you don't have Confirmed Kill yet, or leveled up yet. Concussive Strike, I don't find this one that useful, especially if you have some of the key cards maxed, but if you're early on JD, I'd probably run it just because it slows the boss, or slows some of the enemies down for a certain amount of time. It doesn't really seem to work on large bosses, but again, run at your own risk, I suppose. Custom BOOMSHOT. basically increases the damage of the boom and active reload damage by a certain amount. I know I have some friends that like to run this. Like, it can be useful for killing bastions, and if you don't have Lancer GLs or Locker yet, you can have that card. I don't really find it particularly useful because if you active reload a regular boom shot, and majority of the time, if you shoot at the bastion shield, it will kill the bastion. So, but I don't find it that great of a card. But it's up to you. Run it if you'd like. Daddy's Boy, probably one of JD's more disappointing cards, simply because it's some damage resistance near Marcus, but on high difficulty runs, unless you're carrying someone, you're not really running Marcus, so don't really see much usefulness for the card there. And this, a good kill is probably the worst, probably the most annoying card if you have a Jack in the game, because any kill that you get on this level 5, you'll get 100% pilfer ammo drops, and you don't want that with Jack, because one of the worst things as Jack is to pick up. One of the most annoying things is when you have a Jack that's trying to forge and they pick up pilfer ammo or shot grenades. This just adds to that inconvenience, so I wouldn't recommend running it. Lancer GL Mastery, basically what that does is just reduce the recoil, increases your headshots damage. Again, if you don't have some of the big card to confirm kill, custom Lancer GL or Razor Hill, then probably you'd run this, especially in maps where you have to shoot your actual Lancer bullets a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't run it too much. And the final card is Launcher Mastery. I don't find it too useful. Kate has a card like this. Basically, it makes it faster to reload, and your active reload, that white bar you use to have to reload, increases by a certain amount for your Lancer GL. If you don't have some of JD's high cards, I guess you would run it, but certainly not in my top 5. So in this next clip up here, we're going to have a Swarrmak on wave 30 with more health, using no active reload with your ultimate and that custom Lancer GL card. Just going to show you what difference it makes, especially on boss waves. Here you see me pre-active, mark the boss, use my ultimate. You can see that stacks with the Razor Hill. He bleeds more, and you can see it kills him there. Here are just some of the explosive damage with the salvo, just showing that confirmed kill card, which for me is level 3. I'm bringing back 14 seconds cooldown on every kill or critical damage that I do. And then I do the same with the Lancer GL. So ultimate's about a third of the way back. Just kind of nailing these guys outside the spawn, and you see every time I get a hit or a kill, that starts jumping up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Be on the lookout in the future for more videos on the channel. Characters such as, Dell, Kate, Baird, Jack. Certainly have videos on those guys coming up in the future. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. See ya.